Good evening. And if you're just tuning in live, you're listening to 105.3 FM out of Mississippi and 107.7 FM out of New Orleans, Louisiana, to UFO, Paranormal, and United Public Radio Network. And this is the Angel Rock. I asked for your patience. Hello, Julie Jean Bassett. Hang on, guys. As you guys know, TikTok does not like to play nice unless I go and set it up after we go live. So give me 1 sec. You're going to hear some dings. There's no other way to do this. This is the best hack I found to do it, but I got to add everything. Yes, I know we're live. Thank you. Give me 1 sec, guys, and we'll go through the rest of the intro while I get this set up here. And there's no other way to do it until I go live. So you guys just get a little bit of patience, please. As you guys can see, we have one of our fellow hosts here. Very good friend of mine. I love her dearly. Kerrilyn Shellhorn from Spirit Switchboard on Fridays at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to do a little bit of my housekeeping. Just let me get this guy out of the way. We'll set up TikTok quickly, and then I'll go through my whole little intro. Oh, of course. Well, if Roku continues to not play nice, you guys will add it on your YouTube. Kerrilyn will see, because it's not playing nice. So give me a sec. My computer is not behaving itself. So give me a sec here. Where are you?
Timing on TikTok sounds like you've won something. I'm a winner.
What's that?
The chiming sounds like you've won something. You know.
I know. Okay, we're on TikTok live now, but that's the pain in the butt with it, because there's no other way. I've tried it. I worked on this for weeks, like this thing, and finally I can watch the live. Let me see, so I can say hello to people over there. So thank you for your patience, everybody. Like I said, this is the Angel Rock. A little bit about myself. My name's Lorilei. I'm a Canadian psychic medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, spiritual teacher, and mentor. I'm also a registered nurse. I'm a budding. I know that Julie Jean Bassett says I'm not, but I am budding animal communicator. I'm well versed in NDEs, or near-death experiences, having had one as a toddler, and I've also studied them professionally and personally for over 40 years, and very well versed in the paranormal, as is Miss Kerrilynn. I always say I never went looking for it; it found us, and we've shared our story on the Travel Channel's Paranormal Survivor, Season 4, Episode 9. Now, if you guys like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends and family. It's not all just UFO-y and paranormal stuff. There really is something for everyone on this network. I think we're up to 40 hosts live on the network, so we stream multiple shows daily, 7 days a week. You know, when we're not streaming live, the archive server kicks in and picks shows randomly over the last 25 years. So there really is something for everyone. However, we do broadcast to every country in the world, but 80% of our listening or audience is listening only. So I always say, if you can't see us, you can't join the conversation. We'd love to have you join us. So how you're going to do that, there's many places to go join. So I'm going to try and rattle them off quickly. My Facebook profile under Lorilei Potvin. We are streaming to psychic medium Kerrilyn Shellhorn. We're streaming to the network's YouTube channel, which is UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network. We are streaming to my YouTube, which is Lorilei Potvin, or it's the Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin. We're on the UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio on Twitch. We're streaming to the Angel Rock on Instagram. Now, you guys over on Instagram, the comments do not get integrated with the rest, so I'll pop back and forth and try and say hello, but don't think we're ignoring you, because if you've been to this show and my second show on Thursday night, the thing at the foot of the bed with my good friend and medium, David Hansel, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, both of these shows are very audience participative, so we'd love to have you join the conversation. And if you want to watch us on TV, you can watch us on the network's Roku channel, which how you find it, you're going to go to the channel store, type in UFO space P is in paranormal, and there's a drop down list. We're about the third or fourth one down, and that's when you click on it says UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network. We are also streaming to TikTok, on my TikTok actually, which is the Angel Rock, and I think it's also under Lorilei Potvin. I want to give Michelle Wilfong a huge shout out. She is my moderator over there. She does an incredible job. I seen her here already when I was glancing at the chat, so I want to say thank you to her. Check out her channel, by the way, on TikTok. She's got a haunted apartment, and she definitely posts quite regularly over there. Now, I'm going to read my guest and good friend's bio, because she never brags about herself, and I love bragging about her. So I'm going to And I apologize, you guys. I'm still sick with the flu, so don't mind. Hopefully, my voice is going to hold out. I took NyQuil. NyQuil wakes me up, if you could believe it or not. So, Kerrilyn Shellhorn is an internationally, and she is, respected Canadian psychic medium who shares her intuitive gifts to help bring healing and closure to the lives of her clients. Kerrilyn is committed to helping her clients who are struggling with their grief. She also utilizes her connection to the other side to offer guidance for life direction and management. Kerrilyn shares tools to empower her clients with their own connection to the other side. She's also an incredible teacher. Kerrilyn is determined to show people that interaction with spirits is a normal part of our everyday lives. She is the host of her own show, Spirit Switchboard podcast, right here on UPRN. Like I said, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the author of the ebook, Stepping Through the Door and Into Your Purposeful Life. Welcome, Kerrilyn.
Hi, Lorilei.
I'm so glad. Should we say hi to everybody? We got everybody.
Yes, there's so many people in the chat.
Okay, let's say we got Julie Jean Bassett. I always give Julie Jean Bassett a shout out, and I'm going to do it again, you guys. She's an incredible animal communicator. She's helped me with my animals. She's my animal communication mentor. I took her course. She's already run it a couple times, and I highly recommend it. And I want to say we're going to try and go live over the holidays once the big day is here on the 25th and do some animal readings and maybe some psychic readings. I need to practice my animal communication, and she's agreed. She's also an incredible shamanic practitioner. I had a session with her that was life-changing. So please check her out at juliejeanbassett.com. We've got Heidi Gall.
The archive shows, because Julie Jean Bassett's been on your show a number of times. So those archive shows, if anybody's interested in listening, would be there as well too. For you to
and we should tell them how to find the archives, right? Anywhere where talk radio or podcasts are carried, YouTube. It's on my backed up, I think, on my Rumble. I didn't go to Rumble tonight because I wanted to stream to your platform because I don't have a big following on Rumble. So YouTube, there's lots of places to find it. So thank you for that, Kerrilyn. We got Heidi Gall. Let's see, everybody's just saying hi. We got Howie O'Dell or Ed O'Dell. We got to give Howie a huge shout out. He is a big supporter of our network here. He has his own network, the Riff Nation Network. He has an incredible show himself called The Orion Effect. And he has the most amazing co-hosts that Kerrilyn and I just adore.
You just popped in the chat, Miss Ron Paris.
She's in the chat. Let me go down. I got to find her in here. Hang on. I've got to go way down here. Hang on. I'm missing her probably. God almighty. Where are you? I want to find you. Rhonda Harris. There she is. I'll highlight her. Finally. Hello, Rhonda Harris. She's amazing, you guys. Kerrilyn and I just adore her. We still need to have our movie night one of these nights. Okay, going back up. So you guys make sure to check out the Riff Nation Network and Howie's shows. I don't want to miss anybody. We've got Donna Ciarda. Hi, first time here. Longtime fan of Kerrilyn. Well, welcome. Kathy Hanley Little saying hi to everybody. Let's see, we got Z-Sun Dragon or Kevin, his muggle name we usually call him by. Let's see. I said hi to Michelle Wilfong. She's in here. Let's see. I don't want to miss anybody. Julie
Lorraine Elder Ross.
Who?
Lorraine Elder Ross.
Did I miss somebody higher up?
I think so. I saw Lorraine Elder Ross say hello. She's
okay. I don't want to miss anybody. So you call them out if I miss them, Kerrilyn. Go ahead. Okay. So we got, like I said, Kevin, Julie Dow, Shane and Tommy Johnnings is here. Hello, ladies.
Kim
Lorraine, I did miss her. See, here she is right here. Love Kim Sage. She said, good evening, Lorilei and Kerrilyn. I met Kim on your show. She's awesome too. We got Keith Ottersberg. Hello, Keith. Keith's been on the Angel Rock before. Let's see, Debbie Schmoley's
Keith
here.
has his show with the Rift Nation Network as well too, called The Otter's Den, every second Monday with Joni, our good friend Joni, as well.
Thank you for calling that out. Let's see. Banter with Richie B is here. I know he's a friend of yours. I haven't met him yet, but hi, Richie. Yeah.
So Richie's got his podcast, Bigfoot Banter with Richie B on YouTube. Please like and subscribe, follow. He does boots to the ground, you guys. He goes out squatching in his back 40, takes you guys along for the ride. So sometimes you see things that he's, it's in the moment. You are investigating with him. So lots of good stuff that he's got going on right now. And Richie's just got new merch that dropped.
Well, I'm so glad because you're going to put your peeps out here too. We got Michelle Olivier saying hi from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. We're both
that's where my son. That's where my son is in Calgary.
Oh, well, Calgary's in the house. Hey, let's see. Oh, we got to highlight this one. Psychic medium, Kerrilyn Shellhorn, one of my favorite humans. Merry Christmas, everyone. We've got, I should highlight that. I meant to. Sorry. I'm not on my game tonight, guys. You're going to have to forgive me. We got Sue Ross. Judy Thompson is here. Donna Victor from Cambridge. Oh, Michelle Olivier says first time here too. Well, welcome. We got some first timers tonight. And Keith said thank you to you for calling out his show. I will try to memorize that, Keith. And I see you in the chat. Richard Minix here. Hi, Richard. I haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see you here. Carol Robinson. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? I don't think I did. If I did, shout us out again. Just go ahead and say hello. Let's say check out Instagram. We got William Holmes over on Instagram. Hello, William. And TikTok people are we got Tina Gamboa. Got a few people just popping in and out there. So welcome. If you guys have some questions or comments, feel free to jump in the chat and join in because I'll be popping back and forth between TikTok, Instagram, and here. Well, that's very sweet of you, Richie. He says your hat's on point. That's all that matters. Let's see. Wait, Carrie Smith says it's her first time here. Well, welcome. Got Sherry Fisher. Oh, Iona Me. Now you're going to find out why you haven't heard from me, Iona Me. She's a friend of mine over in the UK, so it's late over there. So thank you for joining us. I've been sick all week, so that's why, because she's running the most incredible law of attraction and creating a vision board and whatever. And I'd signed up for it and I ended up getting sick.
Oh, so
no. Sorry.
It's the right time for it though. Or not the right time for being sick, but the right time for a vision board moving into the new year.
That's what when she was on the show a couple of weeks ago, that's what I told her. Like, what a perfect time, because everybody does it in January. And I said, what a great time to do it in December to get all geared up for the new year and get your ducks all in a row, if you will, and get ready to start manifesting. And then Diane Miller says, hello. So we were talking about what we were going to talk about tonight. And you asked me a really good question, because you and I are kind of on board with, I think, with pretty well most things that we talk about.
Yeah,
I don't think
I think so too.
But the thing is, you said to me, what do you think? Do you think a spiritual awakening and a Kundalini awakening are different? And what were your thoughts? And then I'll jump in there.
I've not done anything that is to the book. Like taking out a spiritual book where it says this is how it plays out is not how anything has ever played out for me. And I know that when I had taken my first, I've only taken Reiki 1. And the only reason why I felt pulled to take the Reiki was it felt like that's what everybody did when they started on a spiritual journey. Like everybody takes the Reiki 1 first.
Right. And I took crystal Reiki.
Yeah, it's kind of like that safe landing spot everybody starts off with, right? And yeah, so I was having so many experiences, and they were talking about with your breath work, eventually you'd be able to get to that spot. And I said, I don't know, I'm already there. Like when I take that breath in, it just kind of, I can feel it hitting here, that third eye section, top of my crown. It just rolls down my spine and back up. Like I just do that breath and I'm there. And yeah.
No, but I'll give you, I'm going to look it up so that I know what it is, and so do you, but what the textbook, oh, you're not going to let me open it. My phone, I swear to God, I've had
because they talk about the Kundalini energy being painful or leading up to.
Yeah.
And but I've heard too that like some people go a little cray-cray if they're not ready for it.
Well, and that's just it. Okay. And I think that's why you and I get along so well, because I'm of the firm belief that basically what you believe. Well, it's what you perceive becomes what you believe, and it becomes your reality. Now, that's from Spirit, not from me. But so if somebody believes that they've had a Kundalini awakening and it needs to be painful because of what you read. So AI here says a Kundalini awakening is a spiritual experience that involves the release of dormant energy within the body, which is believed to be the source of creativity, spiritual gifts, and divine feminine energy. The word Kundalini, or sorry, Kundal, sorry, I haven't got my glasses on, means coiled snake in Sanskrit. But
so I was on a really deep healing journey before I took the Reiki course. So maybe that was part of what it was too. Like a lot of accountability, like in forgiveness and energetic cord cutting. And I was doing a lot of stuff already prior to that.
And inner healing. But you get where I was going with it when you'd agree too was I have run into people that said, oh, I had the most life-changing Kundalini awakening, and when you ask them to describe it, they explain that it's tons of pain, and it was especially through the back of the neck, out through the top of the head. Now, I know I've had a spiritual awakening too, knowing what energy feels like, but it didn't feel that way to me. And I think we're on the same page that I think it's what we label it, because as human beings, we need to label things. Like, for example, somebody was talking in a live, I was just watching. Go ahead.
I'm a non-labeler.
I'm a non-labeler too, because there was this person was talking about they had had a negative experience. I won't get into it, but the point is their likes had stayed on their page. They've been on social media and an influencer at 666. They took this as the most evil, awful sign, and that, you know, this impending event that had happened to them, this was a sign. And I was so glad that there was a panel of 4, and somebody had said, don't look too deeply into the signs, because it is what you make it. Like, you could look
up Friday the 13th.
Pardon?
Like Friday the 13th.
Yes. Or 111. I remember somebody once told me that 1111 is one of the most evil, darkest signs ever. And I was like, what? This was years ago. And I looked it up, and it can be. It's all about perspective, I think, and what we attach a meaning to it. So, because human beings love to label things as who we are, right?
Yeah, I don't play nice in that sandbox. But like, everything needs to have a label, including spirit guides. Like, they don't care what I call them. So.
Didn't you say that when you've taught it, and people ask what the name of their spirit guide is? It is
always Bob.
It's Bob.
Always Bob. Because Bob don't care.
No, they don't. And they know that we need to.
It's frequency, right? We're tapping into frequencies. So we're always tapping into the vibration of everything around us, vibration of the trees, vibration of the people that are crossed over, vibration. So when you understand what the vibration is, you don't need the label.
Absolutely. And I love what people are saying here. Richard says there's positive in everything. It's how you look at it. See negative, only get negative out of it. Exactly. And it goes back to, like I said, what Spirit gave me years ago. What you perceive becomes what you believe, and it becomes your reality. It's the same thing as, you know, the practice of mindfulness. Again, we always got to have a title for stuff, but really just being mindful of what you were thinking when you were working. How many times we're our worst enemies, the way we talk to ourselves in our heads.
And we have to be mindful of what the energy is for the intention that they're using those buzzwords. Is the buzzword just bringing in income?
Go ahead and highlight. You can highlight.
I did that. As a Friday the 13th baby, I refuse to believe it's bad. Good.
But that's just it, right? So whether you want to, and then I've had people say, well, you haven't had a Kundalini awakening because you haven't experienced this, you haven't experienced that. We are all different too. And I think it's what we attached to the label. Exactly what you said. Be mindful of what's attached to these labels. And to me, like, and again, I'm going to go back to this live I was just watching. They were trying to talk about what this was, and some people wouldn't believe it and whatever. And I actually wrote in the comments, you have nobody to convince. You know it was real. You know you experienced it. And that's all that matters. And the people that believe you will believe you. The people that don't. And that's what it is. It's your experience, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's even if you are having experiences from the time that you're a little kid, so like me having experiences tapping into the other side as a little kid, a teenager, young mom, like in my early 20s, there was still an awakening moment. There was still powerful healing and evolvement, like raising that vibration up. That still happened. And two particular moments I can think of that were quite powerful for me. And I've never thought to say that it's a Kundalini awakening at all.
Me neither. And the beauty in it is, as I look back, because I started following this path years ago, but through a paranormal experience, but I've been using it my whole life. But I look back to when I was a little girl, I was having experiences with, I remember at night talking to my guides at the end of my bed and the whole bit. But the beauty in a child when you're doing this, you don't need to label it. You just take it for what it is, right? It can be scary, but you know what I'm saying? You don't have to label it.
No, because then the label starts making it all complicated and divisive, and then we hang on to it longer. We put different energy into it when we've got a label attached to it.
No,
I feel it, be aware of it, moving on to the next moment. Moving on.
But even the fact that, and I'm not bashing anybody, if you feel you need this and it works for you, great. But it's another reason why I resonate with you. And it was, I think you shared this in one of your classes. It was a mentor had said, if you need to eat a cheeseburger and have a beer, you have a cheeseburger and a beer. So if you feel you need to follow a special diet and you need to do whatever you need to do to receive, then you do that. But to me,
she's so funny. If you need a handful of chips, a beer, and a belch, then
that was it. I didn't do it as beautifully as she said it. Yeah, that's exactly it.
And it will shift and change because if you're paying attention to like your higher self and your intuition and your body's giving you that information, you'll just shift and adjust, right? Like
but people, we've never been taught to listen to that inner guidance that we have. I believe we do, and we can connect to, as well as your body will give you messages and you can ask your body. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I agree. Like that's, I think, why people, maybe I'm going to rephrase that. I'm going to roll that back in. I feel that is why so many people are disconnected from what their intuitive voice sounds like, or they don't have confidence with their intuitive voice because they're disconnected from, like, they're all of those, the mental body, etheric body, emotional body, and their physical body. They're all disconnected in these little compartments and not all blended together.
No, I agree 100%. And I love Kathy's comment here. She says, I don't believe in bad luck. There is always positive in a given situation. But it's about perspective again, I think, Kathy, because I agree with you 100%. That go ahead. Jump in.
Yeah, and how you're raised, like your environment. If you grew up with people who are not able to see the positive in things, who, like there's unlearning that you need to do to get to that point.
Well, plus there's the other thing too, because hello, Shannon Casey. I'm going to say hi to a few people. We got Elizabeth Fisher Waterlove. We got, there was somebody else, Donna. No, I said hi to Donna. Michelle Plummer. Hi, Michelle Plummer. I always give her a huge shout out because I got to meet her and I just love her when she came out. You told me I was going to love her, and I do. She's amazing. Got Heather Stratford, I see too. We haven't shouted you out. Just say hi. We got Sue Ross, who's your Bob.
That's right.
I love it. I love it. But you know what else you had said too? Before we started, because we were saying, what are we going to talk about? Kerrilyn and I are never at a shortage of things to talk about, but how people don't realize how thin, if you want to call the proverbial veil, is, how much more easier it is. Do you want to talk a bit about that to connect to this?
A lot of people have experiences this time of year. And from my perspective, Halloween sort of is gearing up and opens the door, and then closer to Christmas, as we get closer to Christmas, there's just even more where there is no veil, where that, our loved ones are right up with us all the time. I don't find, more and more people have those experiences because that door is open even more.
What are your thoughts on why you think the door is more open? I think I know what you're going to say, but just in case, I'm going to ask you, what are your thoughts?
But why I think the door is open more this time of year? Well, I think the door starts getting open at Halloween, and then people are gathered more and thinking more and ruminating more and pulling out old photos and all of those things, right? Like Christmas is a hard time of year, but those thoughts are there. So I think that the people on the other side come in even closer to let everybody know that they're not alone.
I also think that collectively it can be a very difficult time for many people at this time of year, but collectively as well. Most people that I think celebrate this time of year, and whether it's Christmas or it's Hanukkah, or I could go on and on, there's many different practices, but people, like you say, are more closer together. I think people are more mindful of their actions and their thoughts, that more people tend to be a little bit more giving and a little bit more kinder. Not everybody, but
for the most part, the compassion level is higher. We're playing like Christmas music from the start of November to like after, and Christmas music is a little more high vibing stuff too. It's I agreed they've been more active for whatever reason, right? If it is Christmas, full moon, planets moving around, there's definitely a lot that's been going on with spirit showing up, and dream time too, like showing up during dreams.
Yes, like I don't remember.
I don't normally, and it's been steady all week, and I have rules. Do not bug me. I don't want to be woke up. Start my coffee. Like,
you know what I'm getting? I am getting. It is so weird. I've mentioned many times there's two people, the other one's in Australia, so we don't get to see her as much, but we get together and we connect to the other side and whatever energy work or whatever, right? And the weird thing that's been happening to me, and it's been about over the last week, and I don't usually remember my dreams, but it was literally like having conversations with people that are no longer in my life for whatever reason. You've grown apart, you've moved away, like, but back to the time, like when it kind of ended the relationship, almost like closing open doors, if you will. Like there was no hatred, there was no anger. And then also being given visions of like I'm in a room somewhere looking, like observing of different things going on around the world. I'm getting goosebumps as I'm telling you, it's crazy.
So a number of people have been commenting on like the porch group that I have on Facebook as well too, talking about dreams and that same sort of thing. People showing up where there's healing or closure needing.
That's exactly
dream time for sure. And regardless of us doing this full time, like I had reached out to Kim Sage and asked if she would help me with the session, because I needed some validation. We can get in our own way, even, if it's personal stuff, right? So having those outside people that we feel comfortable and safe with to be in our energetic space to help us out with putting some of those connections together.
Yeah, like Connie says, dreams have been exhausting. I feel like I haven't slept. And I saw some of my loved ones. One of them was a message about a death. Interesting. Got to remember, sometimes I'm not always saying, I know you're very intuitive too, Connie, but sometimes death isn't always meaning a physical death. Like sometimes it can be the ending of something. It just depends. But I always tell people too, the best person to interpret your dreams are you yourself, because you're the one that had them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, when I had crazy dreams like 3 nights in a row, and then I was really clear, like whatever my spirit guides need to do to shut that shit off, please do, because like I wake up at 0 hour in the morning and I need to feel rested so I'm not miserable. Like there's just I just don't want it. And then if it's really important, give me those signs or pushes or urges, and I will, deal with it on the weekend.
I've been sleeping nonstop, and I never sleep. Like I usually go in 3 or 4 hours sleep. And like you said, it's probably what my body needs right now. And I'm trying to be grateful about this, getting the flu now versus closer to Christmas. Yeah. Because if you're going to get it, right, you probably get out shopping around 1 million people. So I'm trying to be thankful of all of that. So Richard Minnick says, wish I had any dreams myself. I try to set the intention. Maybe I'm just busy doing things. Don't know. A lot of times, you know what, even though we think we don't have dreams, we do. Because I'm one that doesn't remember a lot of my dreams. So and I even will wake up in the morning and I have a notebook by my bed and I'll hear spirit say, you might want to take notes. And oh no, I'll remember. And the minute my feet hit the ground and I'm off and running, I forget. Or lots of times I don't remember any dreams. I would have swore I didn't have a dream, but we do.
So Richard, my thoughts on that, because people ask a lot about the dream connections. Set a date with them. So you can try setting a date. So all week long, Monday to Friday, hey, don't forget, you and me, we got a date, set a time, right? So, and when that day comes, then you are as relaxed as possible. You've gone for a walk outside, you've grounded, whatever you needed to do, short meditation. Make it as zen as possible that day. Have a glass of water by your bed, some rose quartz, amethyst, have something that can help kind of be in that spot. And then before you fall asleep, set that intention that you see, hear, feel, and remember in the morning. And thank you very much. And you may have to do that for a few weeks. But when you continue to try, that frustration creates the block. So that energy comes out where there's a frustration. So just letting it go and then coming back at it at another point in time.
I agree. And that's the thing. So I was just saying hi on TikTok over there. That's the problem though, right? And it's the one thing with connecting to the other side that I found. William Holmes says, sorry, I didn't see the comment on Instagram. He said, love to you all. And then he says he loves all Bigfoot tales. Well, you never know where the conversation is going to go tonight. I think it's important to make these steps. With dreams, I agree 100%. With anything, really, spirit will hold classes with you if you really want to learn about something. I've done it myself. I got into meditation. You set the date, you show up, and you make it regular. Spirit will show up, definitely. Yeah. So, go ahead. Were you going to say something? Sorry.
Nope. I was just going to take. Do you want to take?
Sorry. Great idea. That one.
Oh, no. I was just going to take that down. And I know, where was I going? Jen Krause or Krause Jen. I totally believe that the veil is thinner because of the Halloween spirit, and the idea of it extending because of the collective of people reflecting on family is so heartwarming.
Agreed.
That's how
I think that's often. A lot of people like Shane and Tommy Johnnings are saying, oh my God, yes, dream time lately has given huge healing for me from past loved ones. That's beautiful to hear. Connie, it sounds like you had a prophetic dream. Those aren't nice dreams to have, but sometimes we do have them. And like you said, it did come true with the dream that you had, and I'm sorry for your loss. I really am. But, I had a lady on. She had a really unusual name. I forget what her name is now. It'll come to me probably after the show. And she was from the UK, and she's written many books about dreams and stuff. She was the one that sort of said, the best person to tell what your dreams are about are you. And I agree with that. But then she talked about the different types of dreams, right? Because there are different types of dreams we have. Some my paranormal experience, that dream happened years ago, and it's like it happened 10 minutes ago. Like I was physically there. Like it was like if I had reached out to touch what was sitting in my tree, I could probably tell you what the fabric felt like. Like there's different types of dreams. What was that?
Oh, I just said, wow.
Well, yeah, like I could describe what he looks like, what he was wearing, like the whole thing. It was so clear.
If there's a message for us, they're just going to keep hammering it at us until we eventually get it one way or another.
Absolutely. Kevin says, if there's a message, you will have the dream again until you get it.
Yes.
Sometimes 100 times recurring. I think that is why we have recurring dreams. If we did not get the message the first time. Interesting. Because I had a nightmare. I haven't had it, knock on wood, in years, but as a little girl, and it was the creepiest, scariest, terrifying dream. I don't know what message was in it, but I had a lot of scary, creepy, terrifying things as a little kid, as I'm sure you did too, Kerrilyn, right?
Nightmare stuff?
Not even just nightmares, but scary stuff that happens around that other people aren't experiencing or feel.
Yes. And to be, I don't know, like, was your house, our house was pretty chaotic. So there was a lot of like checking out at the same time too. So I found when my kids were small and they were so close together in age, then I was having really interdimensional stuff going on because they were like little conduits at the same time too. So there was a lot more happening when they were smaller, I found, than when and maybe I just don't remember, because there's been snippets that are coming to the forefront over the last couple of years. So, I'm sure that there's more that I haven't remembered yet. I guarantee that there is. Yeah.
Mine were when
scary stuff, anyway.
Sorry, go ahead.
As far as scary stuff.
No, mine was when I was little. And I remember I said to you before you went back, we just had no time. We were going to go visit the space at that old house I told you about. I can remember I was like 3 to almost 4. I had my first paranormal experience. This would have been back in about 1969. And as far as I know, the house is still standing. But back then, when my parents were renovating it, my mom steamed off 37 layers of wallpaper to get to the plaster. That's how old this house was.
Wow.
So I had experiences in there. Then when we moved to our new home, and it had never been lived in, it was built right from the ground up. That year, I've been there a couple months, and it was for about 6 months every night. And I didn't know about the paranormal, didn't know about 3M. I would wake up and be completely unable to breathe. Like, couldn't take a breath in, couldn't take a breath out. And I was terrified to go to sleep.
Wow.
Never found out why. And I've had strange, weird experiences, even as a nurse. Like when I say I've used my gifts, like I can remember on this one floor, I used to work a lot of nights. We'd had report, and then we go and do our rounds. There's just 2 nurses, and each of us had about 50, 60 patients. And I usually started on one side of the hall and then went all the way around. I immediately walked in the last room I would have came right from report, walked in, and this poor gentleman just had a cardiac arrest right in front of me. Like, I had so many experiences like this. It was mind-blowing. Like, it was crazy. So that's why I think I've been using these gifts my whole life. And like you say, with you having your children at such a close age, your kids are pretty tuned in too, though. Like, you work beautifully with children, with some of the things you've shared with me that you've done with kids with your teaching and stuff. So I could see why things were crazy when they were little. Definitely.
Yeah, we had a lot. I was going to say, Kim was
just highlighted it. Go ahead, read it. Go ahead.
Oh, Kim Sage is just saying, what is up with a very lucid dreaming sleep? I wake up wondering if I've even slept. Yeah, it's a lot, but I don't know if that's just because we had the full moon right now as well too, if the full moon just amped it up, but that's where I'm dumping it. I'm dumping it with the full moon energy as well too. And I know that there was stuff that I was really wanting to let go of before, like with this full moon, that I was ready to release. So,
and it's such a good time, right? Same as cleansing your crystals, and and then the new moon, what you want to manifest. But I have to agree with you, Kim, with lucid dreaming, because it feels so physical, like you really are there. Your body hasn't left. I think that's why you wake up feeling like you haven't slept. I don't know. What do you think?
Where it feels like you haven't slept?
Yeah.
Like, I honestly, I could probably count on one hand how many times I've had those kind of experiences, because I check out Like, I just go to sleep. And I say it all the time that I want to go to sleep and be able to snore loud enough to wake the neighbors up.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yes, I just do so much work that if it's stuff that I'm needing to do on a personal level, then I want to do it when it's my time off, not when I'm having to be ready for clients all day the next day.
See, I don't sleep a lot. So I sleep when I can, and it's just how I've always been. And I'm a night owl too. So I can go on 3 hours sleep. Then I wonder why I get sick. But,
Right.
well, it's true. You need but I'm a really light sleeper, like, especially ever since I've had children. I've been always a light sleeper. I hear anything and I'm up like I am. Someone comes in my room, I can have a full conversation with them. And I know I've had the conversation. I know what I've said, the whole bit. Like I hear it like immediately.
Wow. And for me, the lucid dreams were when I was taking big steps forward as well too. Like when there was big things. Not that I don't have big things happening right now, but leaps.
But that's part of this journey though, too. Like we sort of touched on it earlier when we were talking about a spiritual awakening, because there's so many things, like you said, the cord cutting and, meditation, and there's many things, but also I believe all of us have healing work to do, like on ourselves. That also helps. Like it's almost like we're lugging it behind us in a big bag, right? We don't even realize we are. That feels really good to let go with whatever. And that's why I always encourage people, like, even though I do energy healing, I know your work is very healing and the work that you do too. But I prefer to go to someone that's completely objective, because I always say it takes a lot of courage to face yourself in the mirror and be honest about what the issues are. And sometimes we can't even see them, right?
Well, it will matter the clarity of the messages, the clarity of your connection, the confidence that you have with it, what level you're actually getting to. Like, personal accountability is so important. Our spiritual hygiene is just as important as our physical hygiene, all of that stuff. And it isn't, in this moment, I'm going to do this. Like, I've signed up for like a yoga class, right? Like it's a 24/7 flow with our spirituality and tapping in, and every moment, everything we do is part of our practice. Everything has an intention. Everything, we're putting our energy into it. It's not just the separate, cleaning is part of your spiritual practice. Cooking is part of your spiritual practice. Driving is part of your spiritual practice. It's all of it. It's just not separate. So,
and trying to find the joy in it too, because sometimes things don't feel that joyful. But like I've done some delving into. I used to be a clean freak. I've let some of it go with my back injury, but things pile up. And I'm starting to realize now that there's something within my own interpersonal life that probably needs some healing, with the fact I know what it is. I've been able to pin it down, and it's time to start working on it. And I've been planning on it very soon, because it can be a trauma response. And I'm not trauma dumping. I'm not playing a victim mode. I'm recognizing that it's an issue for me. And one thing that drives me crazy, for example, is if I can't find something and I gotta look for it, I know it's time to clean and I got too much crap. So Donna says, learning lucid dreaming helped me through a nasty recurring nightmare, like what Lorilei described. In childhood helped, because lucid dreaming helps you realize that you are in fact dreaming, and you have control over it when you can lucid dream. I had a friend on here, Lana Sackwild, and she's got an incredible story. She's actually, I've been wondering, any day now she may have already had her first child. But this girl came from England. You'd never know hearing her accent. Had some substance abuse issues at a really difficult level, kicked it. Had always wanted to moved to Japan, and met the love of her life and got married. But she's also always been able to lucid dream purposefully And that's what her whole business is. She taught herself Japanese while she slept and
Wow.
used the dreaming space and she teaches people how to do it. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'll tell you.
So that's what I've taught. Like, that's how I taught my kids. Like,
Mhm.
and even for myself, like if I'm needing to work on plumbing, that, you know, my guys that have the plumbing information pop in and give me that aha moment, or, you know, when they were taking courses, that their exams,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that their guides that could help them through those things would pop in and help. So I don't know. That's not lucid dreaming.
But in a way, it is. You're not controlling it, but you're setting the intention before you go to sleep, knowing within that you have the ability to receive while you're sleeping. I think you've set the intention. So you're not purposely controlling the dream, but I think you're being open to what you've set. Does that make sense? Setting the intention? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally believe that. Oh, Kraus Jen said, you've been working hard. And Connie says, after all these years of so many dreams, I am only now starting to understand some of the messages because of the repetitive signs over the years. Cool.
Michelle has a funny comment.
Okay, hang on. I'm getting there. Oh, you did. Okay. Go ahead, read it. Go ahead if you highlight it.
Michelle Plummer's just adding in, I'm getting frequent flyer miles now. I get these dreams so often.
Hey, well, like you said, Spirit's going to keep giving you the message until it finally gets through, right? So I don't know why this came up. Maybe it's because of Z Sun Dragon's name, but it just popped into my head. What's your thoughts on dragons? I don't think we've ever talked much about this off air or on air. What's your thoughts on them?
Oh, well, I have a dragon.
I hit you right. So do I. I also have tattoos of them all over me.
Yeah, I don't have tattoos of them, but I definitely have a dragon guide that presented, I don't know, 13 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable sharing what his purpose is or how he works with you?
Oh, it was feeling protected.
That's pretty simple. Protected.
Yeah, that was it. When I need strength or courage, I can feel my dragon guide coming in. We all have dragon guides, and dragons were real, real, dimensional, real. They're real.
Because I've seen some videos that have shown up before Photoshop was a big thing or AI, and they looked like dragons. Because
more and more people are tapping into them right now.
So you think they're bringing them sort of more to this 3D existence because more people are energetically connected?
Yeah, I do believe that.
Yeah, because I have 4. And I asked for them to sit 2 in the front, 2 in the back and protect the property. So, Rhonda says, Kathy Hanley Little says, we all have dragon guides. Rhonda says, I have a dragon guide as well. Kevin says, hello, I have a sun dragon, magical totem spirit guide. And then he says, yes, Kerrilynn. Julie Jean Bassett says, we have at least one dragon guide. And I agree. Now, this comment looked interesting. This
Hi,
is
Christina.
From Christina. Do you want to read it?
Christina Watts is asking, do you think that messages from the divine goddess universal energy can come through in dreams as well as messages from our team in spirit? I've been working with goddess energy for much longer than I've been open to working with my team in spirit, but lately dreams seem more connected to family connections and my healing to be done there rather than feeling like a divine connection.
So, do you want me to go first or you want to go first? Yeah. Okay, so yes, I totally agree that can happen. And again, what I'm going to say, if it doesn't resonate, that's fine. But to me, if you're finding that it's helpful and it's useful, does it really matter where it's coming from? Because for you, the goddess is who you feel you connect with, but that doesn't mean that the goddess isn't part of your team either. right? If you're finding you resonate with it, it's helpful, it's meant for your highest good, or whomever the message is coming through for. And I think it's meant in love and positivity, that I don't think it matters how you label it. I don't know what's your thoughts, because I think you can get messages that way.
For sure you can get messages that way, and they'll work through living people, and there's just so many different ways of receiving messages.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's your truth,
yeah,
then that's what it is.
I literally wrote this
because
we're
all healing at different times. We're all vibrationally different people. We're all having different experiences, and we just have to honor that, right? Like,
I think the other side too will use whatever way is most acceptable and understandable for us to get the message. I really do. Sorry, I've got a bit of a delay, so I apologize if I accidentally talk over you.
Okay.
Because what I was again, I was watching a live before we went live, and this person had what they felt was a very profound spiritual experience. And they were stating about how, people think you're crazy if you talk about it, or, people won't believe them. And I just wrote in the chat and I said, it doesn't matter if people don't believe you. You had the experience. It was real for you. You received some important information that you've just shared that is completely life-changing to you. And those that are going to believe you will believe you. And those that don't. You don't have to convince anybody if it's real for you. And for this person, it made a really positive, life-changing, like they literally were glowing from the last time I had seen them live. Go ahead.
It's part of showing your divine team that you trust. And you're going to ask or act on that relationship, or act on the information that you're going to get. And it's beginning that dance. And the more that you do that dance, the more, hi Tina, the more magical life is going to be. And you don't have to it's high intention, low attachment, have no expectation to any of those end outcomes. It is just trusting what that truth is for you, and rolling with it.
What I was starting to say before, and it was about 10 minutes ago, and I lost my train of thought, but we were talking about kind of flow. I forget what it was pertaining to, but it's the same way with messages from spirit. And I can remember when I was trying to define all this, and, years ago, like you've had this with you your whole life. I've had experiences, but never quite connected them to everything till kind of, say 20, 25 years ago for me. And the point is I think the more that we try to force it, and I think I was talking about listening to our bodies, the more we try to force it, I think the harder it is for us to grasp. But it's literally like what you just said, being open to it and trusting. It's almost like the proverbial, you jump and the net will appear kind of thing. Like you have to start trusting. And just some of the things we've talked about, but I've met people and my heart aches for them sometimes, in the fact, with no judgment, they want this so badly, but they've almost talked themselves into it, that it's not going to happen. And they keep trying harder and harder and harder and harder to connect. And they've almost closed the doorway, if you will, because it's more about the way they want it to occur for them, or the way they want it to happen for them, rather than just being open to it and flowing. Does that make sense?
100%. 100%. And I appreciate, like, people are sharing at least one or four totem animals, and they've got their own. Is to not hang tight to the number of, I have this many, or I have this going on, because that's what you're needing in this moment. But hanging on tightly to that is going to limit your experience, because maybe you only need one that day, or you need 7 the next day. It's being open-minded that it's flow.
Mm-hmm.
Ebb and flow.
You always have such a beautiful way of saying things. That's exactly what I was trying
to say. I feel like I fumble.
You didn't fumble. Well, Heather, and we really appreciate all what you're sharing here, everybody, because you know what? I always say, I had a guest on recently, and they were talking about, they had asked me if I had I gone to school to be a medium. And I talked about the fact that, yes, I had to work with a mentor, but I'm honest about this. I learn more from people who do this work, yourself, other people in the chat that do this work. I learn more from others. But I have to tell you, even being a nurse, going to university for 4 years, I can tell you that some of the stuff I learned about the human body, how it works, yes, but everything else I learned on the job through experience. And it's
and if your mentor is not having personal accountability and continually working on their healing and growth in all ways, it is okay for you to outgrow them. It is okay for you to no longer resonate, because their soul contract could be that they are working at this level to help bring those people in who are just starting their awakening, to help them move forward. That could be what their soul contract is. So your soul contract could be, I'm going to rise up above them so that I can help mentor the next level as these people come out. Like we need to remember that.
It was a great conversation, because this person had worked with some I didn't know the names, but apparently were very well known overseas. And she was having experiences that she was seeing spirit, and we're told that no, it couldn't possibly happen because they don't allow spirit.
I had that happen too. And you shut down.
Yeah, she did. She shut down, and she kept saying, well, how do I know when I call myself a medium? And I've given this advice before. It's not from me. I believe it's from spirit. And I said, no, you can't. Everybody just can't run around saying I'm this or I'm that. But if you were doing the work and you were putting in the work and you were having the experiences, and I think part of being a medium is helping people with healing, delivering these messages or some type of resolution, whatever. It's healing work, I think, and comes from a place of love. And this person was having these experiences. So I said, I think you need to take ownership of it and say, yes, I'm a medium. Like I said, for example, I say I'm a budding animal communicator. Can I communicate with animals? Yes. Can I do it on the level that Julie Jean Bassett does? No, but I'm not meant to be Julie Jean Bassett. I know I need to still put some more work in, and I'm open to it, and I'm honest with it, but I'm open to having the experience. So I claim it.
Yeah. And not all of us are meant to hang a shingle on our door.
That's right.
We're just not all meant to have a shingle on our door. So we can be a medium. Doesn't mean that you need to be doing this full time and as a profession. And I feel very blessed that it's a passion, purpose, and profession are all the same. And that doesn't happen very often to too many people, but it doesn't. It can help. It helps you have a magical life, because your purpose is to share the gift of who you are unconditionally from your heart space with the people around you.
I felt bad though, because she had been shut down. Like you said, she had been shut down.
That's a horrible thing. So, claiming who you are and being of light and whatever. And, that is coming back to the label thing again, right? Like what label resonates and what doesn't, and what label do people feel drawn to or understand the most? Maybe, I don't know.
No, but it was an intro. I've had this conversation quite a few times with people. Maybe I meant to have this conversation with people. I don't know, but it didn't come from me. The message I did, like when I said that, when you're doing the work, when you're coming from that space.
Totally.
Right?
She's totally a medium. It just, So Rhonda Harris is sharing. Yes, thanks for saying that. Sometimes I struggle with the fact that I can't do this full time, and maybe there will be a point in time. So that's where you let go of the struggle and you trust that it is exactly what it's needing to be in this moment, and the right people who are coming to you are finding you. And for me, I was getting bombarded. It was coming at me, and I stomped my foot down, and I was like, all right, y'all up there, if this is what you're wanting me to do, then I need to be able to meet my bills and take care of my kids. And I need to be able to do this. And if I'm seeing this, I will step in and do it full time, but show me this is what you're wanting me to do. And then it all played out. And it's scary because everybody else will project their fear onto you. So letting go of outdated belief systems of what working hard in order to receive, like there's lots of accountability on so many different levels when you're stepping into doing this.
I agree. I just want to say hi on Instagram. We got Freckled Fox 10. That's Jacqueline, my cousin. So hello, Jacqueline.
Oh God, that's a great handle. Freckle Fox 10.
Oh, she has the most beautiful, she's so gorgeous. She's been gorgeous since the day she's born. She's got beautiful red hair. She looks almost like Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Like literally like that. I'm not like the first Little Mermaid. She's absolutely gorgeous. Donna says, I don't need to be the medium. I get the word out for people to trust mediums. And maybe that's part of your path here, right? And then you get, what a mentor said this to me once years ago when I was first starting this path. And they said, what other people think of you is none of your business. And at first I went, of course it's my business. I don't want people to think awful things of me, because I never got what the meaning was, right? We're each here on our own path, and we're here to do certain things. And what other people think it's none of my business. Not everyone's going to like me. I'm not going to get along with everybody. I try to, but I'm just saying that that's just the way it's going to be. And we have to accept that. And you do what you're meant to be doing, hopefully from a place of love and in a good space.
Yeah.
It's the best you can do. Christina Watts also said exactly, it doesn't have to be a profession or have a label to be valid, real, and of service in some way. I love that. That's perfect. I think it's absolutely cool. So pivoting a little bit here, and I know we didn't talk a lot about it, but we are seeing, and Julie Jean Bassett, Sue Ross said, we can't be everybody's cup of tea. Absolutely.
But Sue Ross, you're my cup of tea.
Okay, you're a good cup of tea. Everybody's a good cup of tea here. You're always a good cup of tea to somebody. Remember that. You are. About these UFOs and these drones and stuff that we're seeing, because Julie Jean Bassett sent me a video. I was just going to tell you quickly over on the other side. What do you think? Or what were you going to say?
I was going to say, you're going to have to educate me a little bit more, because I've had my head buried in the sand about it till you talked about it with me last week. And everybody's talking about the drones. I don't even.
I don't know. What got me, Julie sent me a video of this guy was shooting at these drones. I'd already seen it before.
How does that feel clever? How does that feel?
I don't know. I was blown away. You don't even know what powers them. And if you're shooting at it and you actually then I saw a video before we went live of, it looked like one of them had crashed. I don't know if it had crashed or not, but you know what? Joe Montaldo, who owns our network here, he had a conversation with me years ago when the Angel Rock used to be late. It used to be 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. And he used to produce us. And we had time in between my show and the next show. So I always used to get into these conversations with him. And he was the one that really got me thinking about, because I was, we've sort of had drilled into our head that like Mars Attacks, that movie kind of thing, oh my God, they're going to come, they're going to attack. He said, Laura, how long do you think, if you believe in this, they've been around? I said, since forever. He goes, yeah. Now, do you believe maybe they have technology a little bit more advanced than, say, what we know? And I said, yeah. And he said, so with those two things being said, if they had wanted to attack anything, couldn't they have done it any time before? And I said, yeah. He said, my point in case. And he's right. Right?
So I have friends that have been chatting about it, and they feel it's the government that's currently in place.
Oh, Kathy Henley Little. Go ahead. She said you have to understand the mind of a Pennsylvania hunter. Okay. All right. Okay, so the government that's currently in place.
Creating chaos.
Well, it could be. There is a theory out there that there is something called Operation Bluebeam. And I don't get what that is. I had seen something that really resonated with me, And then my partner Della told me about it today a little bit more. But it has to do with things that aren't so positive for humanity, that may be not from an outside source, just human beings making weapons that they shouldn't be making, that they're basically looking for. I don't know. It made sense to me because nobody seems
the drones are looking for
something with radioactivity,
man-made. Oh, so I heard, isn't that over New Jersey or something right now? The radiation's spiked since they had drones as well too.
Yeah, so New Jersey is the one everyone's talking about. Let me go to Julie's message she just sent me a little while ago. Hang on, Julie, where are you? I'm gonna have to. Oh, I think I saw her.
Julie,
Southern California too. Southern California people are seeing them.
Julie Jean's just commenting the guy was an idiot. In another video, someone made a comment that was something not to do. Agreed.
Well, it's not to do. No, you don't know what those drones are powered with. And the way he was shooting from the video I saw, because I saw Julie's and I saw the one I saw, he looked like he hit it, and it didn't affect it in any way. Oh, Kevin's talking about, was that Thursday night? Laura was talking about the North Star at the time. What's he talking? Because I was talking about it on Thursday night, Kevin. Okay. So I'll just to back up a bit, and then so Thursday night. Now, I've always told my children this. I don't know if you've seen this or not, Kerrilynn, but around this time of year, I think it's Jupiter and Venus or one of those planets that's quite bright, but it gets very bright in the sky around December. And when my kids were little, they've got bad asthma. So the only way to stop coughing if they were ill was to bring them outside.
Yes.
So I used to tell them that it was the North Star or it was the Star of Bethlehem. I always would tell them. And so it was a big thing. They always wanted to look for it. So I was outside, was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And usually it's off to the left. And it was way over to the right. I was watching this thing. And the way it was interacting, it was so huge and so bright. I even pulled out my star tracker, and I think it said it was Jupiter and Venus over top of each other, but it didn't look that way, and I didn't film it. But I showed this video of there were some strange phenomena somebody saw that was filming it. So what Kevin's saying, I seen some weird spinning 3 lights, blue, red, and yellow, and looked translucent. And Lorilei described it on a recent live that was on the rewatch, so could not comment. I didn't video it either, so Kevin didn't video it either. I don't know what it was.
Can I put Keith's comment up?
Please do. That was the one I was going to go to next.
So, Keith, did you and Joni talk about it on Otterston? I know Joni just did charts about it.
That's what I was trying to say, Keith. You said it perfectly. I was trying to avoid certain words. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So we'll spell the word NUKE went missing in the USA a few years ago, and one went missing in Ukraine recently. Drones are military. They use them to scan for radiation signals. I was trying to say that without saying it, so thank you. You said it very succinctly. That's what I believe has happened. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Keith says he hasn't talked about it yet. We're going to talk about it Wednesday evening on her show.
Gotcha.
Oh, Julie says she saw. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to make sure that we can do the shout out if people are wanting to follow along. So on Joni's show. So, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm having a brain fart. Keith.
That's why I know I got to memorize all these. Keith, can you type it in the chat, please?
True Crimes Mysteries Beyond the Veil with the Rift Nation Network at 8 o'clock on Wednesday. Did I do that correctly?
Love it. We forgot to do our station ID. I always forget to do that. So if you're just tuning in, you're listening to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network. And this is the Angel Rock. I'm your host, Lorilei Potvin. And this is my very special guest, good friend and fellow host of Spirit Switchboard Fridays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Kerrilyn Shellhorn. And I've been spelling her name wrong, you guys. Like, I just realized this tonight. And if you guys do want to get a hold of us, I forgot to mention that too. It's scrolling across the bottom with our websites there.
So can I put this up with
you? Put whatever you want. Go ahead,
Keith. So that was what I had heard some rumblings about as well too, Keith. There's also the possibility the current officials are attempting to use this as to state a national emergency to try to stay in office longer.
Yeah, I agree. He says you were correct too, because Julie said she thinks there's been some in Illinois, New Jersey, New York, and I think she said California. Yeah, Kathy actually said it too. New Jersey, Arizona, Southern California, Wyoming, Indiana, and Florida. So I don't know. It's interesting. Hi, Lisa Martinello. Welcome. So I don't know, but haven't you noticed this, or is it maybe what we always, I know I always say this, where attention goes, energy flows, but I've been noticing there's been a lot more video of people seeing things in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
He says they're around the ports. Hello, Julia Evans. Julia Evans is, sorry.
I went to get rid of it. I'll take my hand.
Okay, because we're helping each other.
Little micromanaging control freak. I will stop.
No, it's so hard when I'm on your show too, because I'm about to click to help out. Say hi to Julie Evans. She's over in the UK, so it's gotta be. Holy cow! It's late over there, Julia. You're 5 hours ahead over in the UK. She says good evening, so welcome. And then it doesn't help that Roku keeps flashing at us.
I know. It was doing that on Friday too.
And yes, you were right, Keith. It's supposed to be a project, isn't Bluebeam a fake alien invasion using holograms? You're not familiar with that? Yes, it is. And so I have a friend, Dan Willis. He was on the Angel Rock quite a bit before. And he they thought disclosure was going to happen. I believe it was May the 6th, 2002. High up military admirals, colonels, and he was part of the military, the Navy. He wasn't high up, but everybody came with what the kids call nowadays their receipts. They were all sworn in and they all testified. There was all major news networks there to the existence. They believe it was 57 different types of extraterrestrials, or I kind of like the word off-worlders better, but they all wanted to bring this to Congress. And so they all came and told their story. So he talked about this quite a few times on my show, but he just talked about it, right? He didn't have a video or anything. And he put out a video about a year ago. Let me back up. So all these major news networks were there. So they thought, my God, like it's finally something's going to happen with this. And as Dan told it, basically, if like say ABC or NBC something played it, 15 seconds left of the news broadcast going, some people think that extraterrestrials exist. He, kind of big joke, right? So he put this all together in I think it's about an hour and a half documentary that was all filmed. He's put it all together. There's a purpose why I'm telling this story, of the people testifying to what they saw, what they had with them, kind of thing. And it's called Why the Secret Space Program Will Always Remain a Secret, or something to that effect. And one of them used to work with Werner von Braun, who was part of the NAZI or ZI regime, because I don't know if YouTube will like that word or not. Oh. And she worked with Werner von Braun, who on his deathbed talked about many of these things that we have experienced over the years, big things, global things. And the last one he said that he was aware of that was supposed to happen was Project Bluebeam. It's exactly what you just said, Keith, that was supposed to look like we had a fake alien invasion. There's a lot more to it, but so I don't know. I don't think that that's what's going on right now. I don't feel that anyways. I don't know. Just me, maybe. So Howie says, as for the drones, same issue as it was with the clowns in the mid. Oh, you think so, Howie? Do you remember the clowns?
The scary clowns that were randomly
all over the place,
showing up all over the place.
Yeah, don't you remember that? Oh my God, it was
But I don't remember what it was about. I just remember them showing up.
I think it was around the time the remake of It came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Is
so
it just a distraction?
Yeah. Oh, this is Hi, Mark Foster. And then Michael Roth says, will Daleks invade before Christmas, as I don't want to order any if they are. You have to be a Doctor Who fan to understand that one.
I made a Doctor Who reference on my show on Friday, and there was not very many people who understood what I was talking about.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Howie's going, yes, Daleks. It's okay about the caps. We understand. And then Donna says she remembers the clown sightings. I don't know. It's got people, like, everybody's talking about it though, right? Everybody's reporting on it. And then you go back to supposedly the 3 aliens or whatever they were that showed up at Bayside Mall New Year's Day 2024 in Florida. Everybody said it's fake. It was this, it was that. And yet I have a clip from Congress a couple months ago talking about it in Congress, and somebody filmed it.
And he filmed it from like
An old VHS?
An old an old projector phone or an old video cam.
But now he's saying he's missing now. His name was Fitz, I think. His name was Fitz or something. I don't know if he's missing or not. Exactly, Kathy Henley Little. That's what I was just saying. She said if aliens were going to invade us, they would have done it a long time ago. Exactly. Oh, they're over the UK, Michael Roth says too. And Kevin added, yes, it was with a VHS, and nobody knew what he was filming with, apparently, the equipment that he had.
Didn't confiscate it from him.
Oh, and how he goes missing. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, I know. And Christina Watts says, my dad loved Doctor Who, and we watched it every week when I was a kid in England. This made me smile. Oh, I'm glad it made you smile. That's good.
Well, the reference was about the stone angels, and my daughter did a video in a haunted bathroom at Old Angels Inn in Niagara-on-the-Lake. And when she was recording her video coming out of the bathroom, she's like, don't blink, because if you blink, then the stone angels were coming closer to you.
Start to move. Yeah.
So she was in the haunted bathroom with this statue that apparently is hooked up into the bar with a leaf over its private parts. So if you lift it up, the light goes on, so they know that you're looking at the bits and bobs. The Weeping Angels. That's right, Keith.
The Weeping Angels. There you go. See, I didn't watch every episode, but I'm familiar with most terminology from Doctor Who. I mean, how could you not be?
Yeah.
I guess some people aren't, though, right?
No.
Yes, Keith, you're absolutely right. Congress just recently had another hearing on alien information a few weeks ago. You can pull it up and watch it. I have watched some of it, but and then you see, say on TikTok or on Reels, people are going, yeah, Congress just admitted to the existence of extraterrestrials, and everybody's just going on with their life like nothing's happening. So to me, I guess we're ready for disclosure, right?
Well, it's been happening for such a long time, I think, in so many different ways to kind of get us prepared for it. The Stone Angels
That's right. I'll go back to
that's right.
Sorry.
It was a great episode.
Yeah, don't blink. And Howie's saying, don't blink, Weeping Angels. Yes. So there you go. Just didn't have all your Doctor Who people there.
They fell apart, but I had them as a string of Christmas lights, the Weeping Angels. We had them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The angels from Doctor Who. So they're all like, ah.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
I'm on a Grinch thing. I made this Grinch jacket. I made my Grinch hat tonight too, but I'm on.
You made it?
Yeah, I made the hat. Yeah. I didn't make the hat, but the little antlers and the Grinch on the front, same as the jacket. The back of it has Grinch on it, and then on the front it has WU. Wait, where is it? Oh, this side. It says Whoville Whoville University. Oh, I got to work backwards here. This way. Whoville University. Yeah. I never copy people's work, but there was a girl I like to follow on YouTube. It's called Creative on the Cheap. And she's so creative, the ideas she comes up with. And she said, I don't think I've ever seen anybody make this before. So she said, I wanted to make a Letterman jacket for Christmas. So hers said, was it Christmas University or something? And then Merry Christmas and Christmas things all over. And I thought, I'm going to make a Grinch one.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
So fun.
Okay, so Donna says that's because we already knew that we've had visitors, so no one's really surprised, or that they've been here forever.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I've been noticing is tons, maybe it's where I'm looking, because I'm always searching out different videos for Thursday night, right? Is a lot of Bigfoot footage.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I so agreed. More and more people seeing Bigfoot. But again, is it dimensional?
Well, what are your thoughts?
I think it's dimensional. I just think those layers between the dimensions is just becoming non-existent. I think it's so thin that we're popping in and out, back and forth.
Yeah, because before, when you would see people get footage of Bigfoot, it looked like it had been shot with a potato, always. Like it was literally like it. I believe Bigfoot is interdimensional, but it was so fuzzy. The person's always shaking, and like these people are just going along on hike in the woods, and
I laugh, but I tried really hard not to judge because none of us are there in that moment. And how would we respond or act, and would we actually be able to have a steady video? So that's why we need to follow Richie B. Jason Kenzie.
I've heard you mention his name. I am going to go to his channel and add him because I love watching, videos. Like you said, when you got somebody doing this and taking you along, it's literally like you're there, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's how he rolls. So that, and Jason Kenzie is another one too, that he's done a couple of Sasquatch documentaries.
Ooh, so we've got Michael Ross saying, check out Patrick Jackson Sphere's YouTube. His orb research from over 3 years ago is mind-blowing. His filming of them in connection to the paranormal is groundbreaking. Interesting. Howie, I have not heard of Cybermen. You said, I don't think it's aliens. I think it's the Cybermen. Do you know who the Cybermen are? I don't think I've heard that term before.
Are we still talking about the orbs or the drones?
I guess. Well, we're getting back to Bigfoot because people are talking about orbs. Because Michael then added, I reckon Bigfoot, orbs, etc., are all the same thing, but wearing a different mask. That gives you food for thought. You know what? I got to say for myself, orbs are a pet peeve of mine. And I say this very lovingly, but I can usually tell where somebody is on their paranormal journey by how they feel about orbs. But I will tell you, I was there once myself. So I say this with love. I don't say this with judgment. And I'm not saying orbs don't exist because they do. But I think there's criteria that needs to be met. Thank you, Keith. Cybermen. Oh, of course, robots. I should have thought of that. Right? I don't know. What's your thoughts on orbs?
It's another buzzword that gives me stink eye tight butt.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I said
I've seen them.
Go ahead.
I have seen them in different colors. I think what irritates me about orbs, people not educating themselves enough to understand the debunking part to it. So people need to be educated, and the hanging on really tight to specifics about it. Like blue is only this and white is this. And again, it's all individual and what it may be and everything else. So maybe we need to check out the Patrick Jackson spheres and see where that person goes. And not that that's not great. At the same time as that person's personal experience could be totally different from what if I deep dived into orbs for 3 years I could show have different information.
Oh yeah, I didn't mean any disrespect to the.
Oh, you weren't being disrespectful.
Good. No, but I agree with you 100%. That's why I said you can usually tell where someone is in their paranormal journey. And I was there once. Like, I'd heard the term, like, you got to remember, guys, when I went through my haunting in my house, I knew very little about the paranormal, if anything. I had no interest in it. So I became almost like a 20-hour a day job, like researching, looking, like, and anything I found, I dive into it and I dig into it and I start researching. So I was there once with orbs. And then as I started to learn very quickly, because this was a new word I hadn't heard years ago, and I dug into it very quickly, I realized there's a big distinction of what makes an orb and what doesn't. Again, I agree with you. We weren't there, but when somebody sends you a picture and the ceiling fan is going and they go, look at all the orbs in my room, and they're shaking their down and
dust and moisture, backsplash. Okay, can we put Keith's, because
my paranormal team name is Cobra Paranormal Crazy Orb Busters right away. Oh my God, I love that, Keith.
Oh my gosh. In every way, that is awesome.
And Michael, you said, just so you know, because I want to watch his documentary, and I will, Michael, I promise. Patrick Jackson's Fears Exposed.
It's very hard. It's very hard, though, to meet to not take away from someone's experience as well, too, right? Like to educate people to the best of our knowledge, right? And that's how I try to share from my experience and from what I know. This is what I can share with you about.
And I've shared it on Thursdays many times, because I have often said I don't like to say that somebody's faking something or they're fake, because I was called that in the beginning when I had finally built this community that I felt like I could ask questions and that was supportive. And it was my own fault. I ended up calling somebody. I used to attend a friend's show every week, and somebody had been on there, and I used to call in because I would ask questions. In the beginning, I was like, what do you think? What's your thoughts? Like, why are we experiencing this? And they had said, yeah, feel free to give me a call off air and whatever. And before I called them, I listened the second time this happened, but the first time I didn't. I heard Spirit suggest that I may want to record this. And you know how sometimes we have these conversations with Spirit in our head, and we're arguing with them, and I'm arguing with Spirit. I'm not recording them. Like, what a wackadoo thing to do. I wish to God I had. And let's just say that, and you guys have heard the story in the audience if you've been on the show before, that he diagnosed me from suffering with intergalactic satellite goldfish. And I will make a t-shirt with that one day. Didn't see any pictures, didn't really hear any of our story.
Say that again.
He told me that he liked to tell people like myself that I was suffering from intergalactic satellite goldfish. I'm making the t-shirt.
Can I get the Letterman jacket?
And then, so he was so obnoxious to me, and afterwards I went, I will never ever disregard when I hear from Spirit that maybe I might want to record it. I've only heard it twice. Second time served me well. First time I wish I had. I did not hang up on him, but he was being so insulting to me. He didn't know anything about me, didn't know anything about my story, nothing. Called me a fake. And I said, you know what, thank you very much for your time, but I think I'm going to go now. And I hung up. You think I didn't want to reach out to everybody and tell him what a jackass he was, but I didn't. I realized it was my decision to make the phone call, and it was a personal conversation. But instead, he told everybody that was in my community I was a fake. I was an attention seeker. And then after, because our show went on TV on an episode, all of a sudden it's real. So this is why I am very careful. And I share this tale only to tell people, not for sympathy. Be very careful who you judge and what they're sharing with you, because you weren't there. You didn't experience it. And the truth, I think, always will prevail. And to my little soapbox with intergalactic satellite goldfish. That's a new term in the paranormal world, I'll tell you. I've never forgotten it. Oh, Julie says, I want one too. Kevin's saying it's hilarious. I just haven't decided what I'm going to make it look like it. I'm sure you've probably got some ideas go rolling around in your head. I know I do.
It's so dismissive. It's so dismissive. And it's really a bitter pill when you see ego like that try to create that competition. And
thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
Well, it was plus, and again, I don't want this to sound arrogant, but you're trying to diagnose me, but you don't even know that I'm a nurse. There's no medical diagnosis with that term. That term does not exist anywhere.
Yeah.
So it was a good lesson. That's why I say I'm always hesitant to call somebody fake too. I always try to be very careful because I believe, again, and you've said it yourself too, that if you weren't there, plus I think the truth will always prevail, because especially if somebody's telling the story over and over, if you're not telling the truth, the story's going to change because you can't remember everything that you told. The truth is the truth. Right?
And we cannot hang on to when we want the truth to come out. Like we
True.
cannot create our own block by hanging tight to like when we want, you know, karma to come back around. And karma is a whole other thing that gets misinterpreted. But you know, when
but it's the same thing. It's the same thing though with anything, right? Like when we want something to happen, we can't always see the bigger picture. Or like when people were writing in here, and I loved it, that they don't believe there's anything such as bad luck. Well, the thing is, it's all about perspective. Sometimes it takes some time, maybe some healing when something really bad happens. But when you look back on it, as some time has passed, you realize that it kind of needed to happen to bring you where you are now, right?
I don't know. Everything is so interconnected. It's so interconnected. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, Keith, that's happened.
That's why I've been called a fake, but I know that I have been talked about that I do things wrong or I teach wrong.
You're an amazing teacher, and I can say that not only because I'm your friend. Okay, like I'm not being biased. You're an incredible teacher. I've taken some of your courses, and you are phenomenal. You have a beautiful way of showing it, demonstrating it, and making it very easy to understand for anybody that would be in that class and be able to connect and have an experience too. I can definitely say that.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, Julie Jean Bassett, like, yeah, it again, it's coming from a place of ego and creating competition and creating divide, and there doesn't need to be.
No,
there doesn't need to be.
We're not all here for the same reason, right? And so, again, if you're watching something and you can visibly see strings being pulled and everything else, then yes, you have to use discernment. But if you weren't there, and I always say, just because I haven't experienced it or haven't seen it or been through it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Like what I've never forgotten. And she's not here tonight, Nicole Thomas Ryan, but I remember we were talking about the Appalachians, and I had mentioned to you off air about Haint Blue, and Dave and I didn't know anything about Haint anything. You go, you never heard of Haint Blue? Do you remember that? And I've never heard of it.
Right? Yeah, it's my porch ceiling.
Yeah. Well, and then that was a learning opportunity, something new. Same as what is it called? Oh God, is it Huna? I was watching a video, and this person was live, and they were talking. It's based on some of the principles of a Ho'oponopono or insecurities. Julie, yes, definitely. And this woman, her name's Marilyn Devonish. She's from the UK, and I thought, oh my God! In all the years I've been doing this, I've never heard of Huna, and I looked it up. I am like obsessed with it because it's incredible, and it's a healing technique, and it goes, your intention comes in with the breath, if I remember correctly, and what you want to send out comes out with the breath. And there's a bunch of hand movements. And anyways, this woman did this live. Holy cow, could you feel what she was sending? And it wasn't just me. There were like thousands of people in the chat. And she's supposed to be doing it, I think, again on the 22nd. Again, something new, right? But I think we always have to be open to the possibility that we're always learning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's new information being downloaded all the time, and at different levels with different people who are meant to teach and share so that the rest of us can learn as well too.
Absolutely.
Kevin's got your logo.
Kevin? Oh, Kevin. Okay, well, I'll put Julie's up first. Julie says, remember, it's not about you. It's all about them and their insecurities and belief systems. And it is, but being honest, and most of us can, and I think especially if we're sensitive, right, we could get 1,000 beautiful, wonderful comments, and one person writes something really nasty, right? That actually happened recently. It wasn't really nasty, but it wasn't that nice. They just tuned in at the last minute on my Thursday night show, and they had written, did she ever let David talk? And it was like, oh my gosh, for about 2 seconds. And I had to remind myself exactly what you just said, right? Because you got to walk the walk of the talk that we do. But that's the one that wounds us. That's the one that we most human beings tend to focus on because it's the mean part, right? Or somebody says something negative. And it's so important to remember that it's not really about ourselves. It's about that other person, what they're going through. So
and those opportunities, right? Thanks for giving me the opportunity to
remember that other people
forgive, show myself compassion, walk away from shit that doesn't have anything to do with me or is not in alignment. Like it's always.
But I share things even that I'm going through, so people know. Like, even though we talk about these things, it did affect me for a few minutes, and then I had to remind myself exactly what you just said. Give ourselves compassion. Yeah. So Kevin says, I can see that goldfish with space helmet on and little fin wings flying through the stars. Sorry, could not resist. Don't say sorry, because that's kind of what I was picturing. It's like that Dr. Seuss's it. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. And the fish from there, I could literally see him in the bowl with a little almost bowl on his head too. So I love that.
Funny.
I absolutely love it. Were you going to say something?
No.
Let's see. Oh, we got a bunch of people on Instagram. I'm sorry, guys. We got Steven Spencer, 8210. I think I said hi to everybody. People were chatting over here. We got people hopping in over on TikTok. You guys feel free to leave some comments or questions, or you want to join the conversation. We'd love to have you join in. We only got a few more minutes. So the one thing, well, who you got coming up on Friday? Let's talk about that for a minute.
Oh my gosh, guys. Rhonda Harris is coming.
No, that's why I wanted to bring it up. I have it marked on my calendar and in my phone.
Hey, Jen.
Hi, Jen Schneider.
So, hi, Patty. On Friday. So I do the 12 days of giving on social media every year. I think this is my 7th or 8th year doing it. So I give different things away or discounts first 12 days of December. One of the offerings that I did last year, which was super fun, and you co-hosted with David, I did a be my guest offer to come on Spirit Switchboard as my guest, and we would have these special co-hosts. So this year, the special co-hosts that I asked to come on are the Beyond the Haunting ladies.
They're so lovely.
Corrine, Leanne, and Kelly are coming from Beyond the Haunting. Beyond the Haunting Investigations. We need to do it all the way beyond the haunting investigations. So Haunted Gold Rush, ladies are from BC. They were at the Paracon in Thunder Bay this year. So they are coming on. I'm super, super excited about that. And Rhonda from the Rift Nation Network, from the Orion Effect with Ed Odell, and the Freaking Awesome Paranormal show on Tuesdays with Ryan. I can't remember last name, so I'm really sorry. But so
I want to give a huge shout out to Chip Reichenthal. Chip connected me years ago. Our previous network I knew Chip from had gone down. And he said to me, girl, it's time to get back on the air. and he connected me with Joe Montaldo. Little did I know I had Joe Montaldo already on my friends list, but Chip is the reason why. And he used to syndicate his show on this network. And he says, hey, finally get to see your show. Plus, I can tell you that Terry, that's his beautiful wife, says hi and sends her love.
Oh, that's lovely.
Chip is amazing. So I'm hoping he's going to be getting back on the air too. You guys will love him. He's amazing. And so Kevin says, oh, damn, we'll rewatch. I always do on Fridays as I work Fridays, so can never make the live LOL. So that's why I wanted you to talk about it, because I knew it was
so we're going to do, I have it all set up. We're going to do a paranormal trivia game. We're going to play a paranormal trivia game. So if you are joining in the chat, have a pen and paper close by. We're just going to have a fun, maybe a this and that, Christmas paranormal this and that game as well too, or questions. So it's just going to be fun.
And Corinne, I see, is starting to put herself out there doing readings, I have seen.
So it's not readings. We need to not get...
Well, that's what it looked like to me. So please clarify.
I know. We can get it all kind of hashed out on Friday. So I think that she's wanting to be a mentor for people.
Oh, so even
tapping into their intuitive abilities, tapping into the other side. So I feel like it's not necessarily readings, but I could be wrong on that.
You would know. I was
I texted her. I went, I'm so proud of you.
I was too. That's why I gave her a shout out.
Yeah,
she's lovely. So was her sister Leanne. I didn't get to meet Kelly because Kelly didn't come up for the Paracon, right?
Yeah.
So, but Leanne and Corinne are beautiful. You guys are gonna love them on Kerrilyn's show.
Yeah.
And of course, Rhonda, what such beautiful energy.
I know. It's just gonna be so fun. So Friday night at 6:10 Eastern time.
So I haven't marked on my phone. I haven't marked on my calendar. I haven't marked everywhere.
Yeah, it'll be a blast. And it's super fun because like Leanne reminds me so much of my sister Christy. And so now when she messages back and forth, she goes like AKA Christy. She calls herself Christy.
Aww.
Yeah.
So Connie asked, Lorilei, will you be live on Monday the 23rd? You bet your bottom dollar I will be. And I am having back I love her dearly. I've known her for years. I am having Varla Ventura on.
And so fun. She just rescheduled. So she's not coming on in March on Spirit Switchboard. She's coming in April.
You know what? Something big must have happened because she never rescheduled. So something big must have happened. You're going to love her.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Because I have her on 4 times a year. Usually when the seasons change, she comes on. You guys, she's awesome. And she always has so much knowledge. I know she talks about, I always remember the sausage stealer. There's the 12 little naughty boys for Christmas or something from over in Scandinavia. She'll go through that and lots of Halloween legend and lore and spooky stuff and Krampus. And so, yes. And on the 30th, you guys have me all to yourself. I did not book a guest because I thought almost the last night of the year, well, the 30th, we're just hanging out. So we get to talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. So it's going to be, I will be here. Definitely. But are you working over the Christmas? Or are you taking Christmas off with your shows, Kerrilynn?
I didn't book a guest for the 27th. I didn't book a guest on the 27th. I'm not even sure if I have a guest book for the first week of January. I'm not sure. So I was just rolling with it.
Play it by ear.
Yeah, I'm going to play it by ear. I wasn't sure if I was going to do the 27th or the 1st and just kind of do a recap of all the fun stuff for the year.
We love Adriana. Please, I always get the name of her show. It blanks me every single time. I know it's
Appreciating Happiness.
Thank you. I always see her name. I can see it, small business on Ontario, but I'm so sorry, Adriana. Thank God Kerrilyn's here. I would have looked it up anyways. You know,
Some Mondays at noon. I'm not sure.
Yeah, tell us the time, please, Adriana. Write it in the chat. She is another fellow UPRN host. She is amazing. I have not had her on in forever. We're gonna have to get you back on the Angel Rock in the new year, Adriana, for sure. So you guys make sure you check out her show. As soon as she types it in the chat, I will read it out. But we are almost out of time. So tell everybody how they can get a hold of you or anything else you want to talk about, Kerrilyn, please do.
The original Kerrilyn Shellhorn on Instagram. I think it's the original KL on TikTok, but there's just one video of my mom laughing at my aunt.
I loved it.
She was getting. Oh my gosh, me too. I'm gonna work. 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Mondays.
Negotiating
happiness. And I know this because she popped in with the Small Business Ontario, the other chat, and I blanked then, and then I put it in my brain for like months. And I know you're busy too. So there you guys go. Negotiating Happiness. She has an awesome show. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No. It's all good. Facebook and the website, it's kerrilynshellhorn.com. So I am doing a mentorship medium course. The information will be coming up soon. Information was in the last newsletter, and I'm doing an otherworldly Who's Your Bob course in February. So tapping into more of those interdimensional spirit guides that we have, fae, dragons, interdimensional light beings. So I'm going to do Who's Your Otherworldly Bob. All that information's on the website.
I love it. And you guys, if you ever want to get a hold of me on facebook.com/AngelRock. Right now, I have my course that looks like it's going to be sometime in March. I'm going to be starting, and I haven't even named it yet. But when I do, I'm hoping to go to a domain name, and I will have my resin and things underneath there as well. I don't know how I'm going to figure it out, but I am. But right now, that's the fastest way to get a hold of me. Actually, Facebook Messenger is, but I'm on all social media platforms, either under Lorilei Potvin or the Angel Rock. I have 2 groups in Facebook: Paranormal University for all things paranormal, the Angel Rocker Tribe for more things spiritual. And I forgot to mention too, I should have said this first, if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing, please stay tuned. The Light Gate is coming up next with Preston Dennett and Dolly Saffron. Love those two, and they have a great show. Also, don't forget that I'll be back on Thursday with David with The Thing at the Foot of the Bed, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget to join our group if you guys have paranormal stories, questions, show ideas, even funny little jokes, anything like that. I noticed a couple people have opened up in the chat on Messenger, sharing NDEs and I think spiritual development. People want to chat about that. How you can find that, though, is you join the Thing at the Foot of the Bed with Lorilei Potvin and David Hansel. We'd love to have you. And David and I are going to start going live in there, I think, in the new year. From time to time, answering your questions, doing readings, whatever it may be. We also share the links to anything we show on the show in there, so that if you're listening and you want to find it, you can. So thank you again for being here, sweetie. I love it.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, love it. Love it. Anyways, you guys, we love you all here. Thank you for being here, and we will see you on Thursday. Don't forget Kerrilynn on Friday, and I'll see you back on Monday with Farley, everybody. Thanks for being here. Much love and light.